Hello, everyone. It's Wednesday, March the 6th. Thanks for being with us, and we've got a lot of stuff to go through and a lot of stuff going on. I, just got out of a meeting and everything with some folks, doing some really exciting things in Mercer County, and a lot of maybe good stuff coming that way before long. And just like I said, there's with session going on, everybody running to the finish line now and everything. It's just a lot of great stuff going on. But nevertheless, I want to talk to you about, first and foremost, this bus crash that we had in Calhoun County, on Route 16. 19 kids really hurt. A couple of them, I think, are still hospitalized. The bus driver was drunk. And so with all that being said, the one biggest thing I want to tell you is this, and we'll be visiting Calhoun, the Calhoun County schools real soon. And, but I want to tell you that, first of all, I can't imagine to say there's no excuse for the bus driver being drunk is just ridiculous to say. But, he's in the Central Regional Jail, and bail set at $250,000. I commend these incredible students. There's a little girl that we're going to go see, and we're going to present her with a really special award, because when all the first responders, when everybody got there, what she was doing, as far as pulling kids out of the bus and really doing everything she could to be helping those kids, she probably really saved some lives. And so, tough thing to happen and everything, but, hopefully the outcome's going to, not be too terrible bad. We got a little bit more good news here and everything, but, we had word come down from the mountain, from Fish and Wildlife primarily, the Biden administration, whatever it may be, that we could have lost our whole trout stocking program. Well, we pushed back, and we pushed back as hard as we possibly could, and really and truly, at the end of the day, the Fish and Wildlife people decided, to see this in a different light, and so today I am really happy to announce that we have reached an agreement with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and everything to reinstate our trout stockings to their original schedule. The streams like Pinnacle Creek, Camp Creek, Laurel Creek of Cherry, and North Fork of Cherry are all going back on, but nevertheless, and then what we're going to do is, I think WVU is going to do the study that we pushed to have done, and at the end of the day, we don't want to endanger any endangered species. We don't want to do anything that's going to harm our environment in any way. We just want to do the right stuff. I mean, for crying out loud, but, like I said, we pushed back really hard. I can tell all the people that enjoy our incredible trout stockings and everything, we're going to be at it. We're going to be at it full throttle. It's now back on, and so I really appreciate just the good reason and logic from Fish and Wildlife, because we couldn't have gotten there if people would have been just hard-headed and stuck in the mud and everything. And we presented and we jumped up and down a good bit, and lo and behold, everybody's come up with something that'll really work and maybe work great for the environment in every way, and work great for us in our trout stockings, and that's a win-win, and that's what we want to always do. In regard to our gold rush, because we reached this agreement, we're going to have an incredible gold rush season this year, and that's right around the corner, and so lots of good stuff in regard to our trout stockings, and I just thank everybody that was involved, and it's good news, really good news. Our DNR meetings, that we're having, we're going to have 12 in-person public meetings at various locations around the state on March the 11th and 12th from 6 to 8 p.m. You know, I'm thrilled to share that if you bring, you know, a youngster from ages 10 through 15 to the meetings, you know, we're gonna have a big drawing and everything, and the lucky winner will receive an opportunity for a hunting and fishing and camping trip to the scenic Little Cole Wildlife Management Area and everything. So come to the meetings and everything. We're going to draw for something really special and everything for those kids and everything. It's good stuff, and it's educational stuff, and you'll really enjoy the knowledge that you pick up in those meetings, because those meetings are really special. Okay, now get this number. You know, think about this just a second. You know, our New River National Park visitation numbers. You know, in 2023, we just had 1,709,623 visitors that entered the New River Gorge National Park, which is an increase of 7.12% over 2022. It's the highest year on record for the park since it was established in 1978, and just more and more and more really good stuff. Harper's Ferry, we had a big increase there. Harper's Ferry over the past 5 years, the Harper's Ferry National Historic Park has experienced a visitation increase of 42.64%. You know, people continue to discover West Virginia, don't they? Lots and lots of good things happening in West Virginia. You know, at the end of the day, we opened up the eyes of the world to how great we are in this great state, the beauty that is unmatched all across the globe, and now great stuff is happening. You know, the GATC agreement, I'm excited to announce today that the state of West Virginia has partnered with GATC Health to kick off a new program, and they're going to do it in Morgantown. They're going to do it with artificial intelligence and everything, basically testing drugs and doing stuff and everything that will accelerate things, you know, like opioid use disorder and how we contend with that, and PTSD and how we can make things better. You know, through the Economic Development Authority of West Virginia Jobs Investment Trust Board of Directors, we just approved $5 million, you know, to invest into GATC that will expand their state-of-the-art research and everything. It's going to be going on in the old Milam buildings and everything, and so this just will make things better and better. Foster care recruitment campaign. Today I'm excited to announce that we're going to have a new statewide campaign to recruit foster parents in West Virginia. You know, absolutely all across this great state. You know, I think about the divisions that we've made in DHHR and the Department of Human Services with Secretary Pursley. You know, they're doing a great job, there's no question, but what we want to do is we want to recruit more and more and more foster parents in this state. You know, absolutely, these kids need you. They really need you and everything. So think about it, and we'll be announcing and working this program and everything, and I'm sure that we'll be successful, and we want to be successful in a big way, though. Today at 1 o'clock, I'm going to be doing something really, really special in regard to our second West Virginia Medal of Valor Award ceremony. You know, if you just tune in, you'll be able to see our first responders. This is away in West Virginia. You know, Woody Williams came to me a long time ago, well, in 2020, and said this is something we ought to do that absolutely, you know, salutes our first responders in every way, and what an incredible man Woody Williams was. You know, we don't need to go into all that right now, but gracious goodness, how did he serve this nation? How did he serve this great state? So we thank all those and everything. So if you tune in and everything at 1 o'clock, you know, we'll be at our West Virginia Medal of Valor Award ceremony. It'll be really good stuff. Okay. The USA Today 10 Best Choice Nominations. Now think about this. We have three towns in West Virginia. One's Berkeley Springs, one's Lewisburg, and one's Fairmont. In Berkeley Springs, we're going to be voting, and we need you to go to the phones or go to the website rather and cast your votes. Cast your votes for all three of our nominees, because the more votes we have and everything, the more chances we'll have to win. It will just bring more and more and more goodness to West Virginia. Now think about it. You'll be voting for the best historic small town. That's Berkeley Springs. The best small town food scene, and that is Lewisburg. And the best small town in the South and everything, that's Fairmont. And it's not in the South of West Virginia, but in the South region, I guess. But nevertheless, please go to the USA Today website and cast your votes for all three of these. Because the more votes we get, the more chances that one of these or all three of them, we want all three of them to win and everything. But if we could get one, it would be great. But please cast your votes, and absolutely, hopefully we'll get all three of them to win. We're still working this rest in peace potholes across the state. We've now patched 30,376 potholes along 4,090 miles of road. If you just think about it, I mean, it's hard for me to imagine 30,376 potholes that we fixed and that we've repaired and everything. But we're going to keep at it. We're going to get them all. We're going to get every last one of them. More game time good stuff that's happening at WVU and at Marshall and everything. I got to say this, the opening of the Jack Cook Field on Friday, last Friday at Marshall was something, but just think about it. When we played there, just imagine on the first pitch with the first batter of the game, the first pitch, Trey Hondras homered over the left field wall. Jack Cook had to be smiling, and a lot of good stuff. So congratulations to our Marshall baseball team. Congratulations to all the good stuff that's going on in basketball at Marshall and West Virginia's women's programs. Congratulations to all the great stuff that's happening at the girls' state tournament right now. We didn't do too hot yesterday, but Morgantown had a really powerful team, and we could salute them. But absolutely right behind the girls, the boys are going to be playing. The economic impact in West Virginia, in the Charleston area, with the state basketball tournament is terrific. And what an honor to be able to have been there and played. That was really good. Our kids were super young and everything. We have one junior, and all the rest were freshmen and sophomores and everything, but, that played in the game. But it was, it was a great experience for those kids. And to be perfectly honest, I got to tell you this story real quick, but I have a little point guard. Her name is Kennedy Stewart. Kennedy's a sophomore, and Kennedy is stuck on all the time. Her approach to everything is, she's a real competitor, and she is an incredible shooter. That's all there is to it. She led off right in the beginning of the game, hit a three that was really an NBA three. She was a long ways from the bucket when she shot the ball. But nevertheless, later on in the game, she shot a shot, that was probably a little bit of an ill-advised shot and everything, but she shot it and everything from, several feet behind the three-point line and airballed it. And what did she do? She came running right by me, and she said, Coach, she said, one thing I can say now for sure, I've never airballed a three in the state tournament, but I have now. So nevertheless, got a good outlook on life and everything, and we were real excited for our kids to play, and we wish everybody the very best. You know, the West Virginia, the WVU rifle team on their way to maybe a best 20th national championship in riflery. Great stuff happening at our universities. Okay, the First Lady and Vicki and everybody, we're excited to announce once again our annual Bunny Brunch and Easter celebration that's coming on March 23rd. You know, we're going to start, I guess, at the Cultural Center grounds, and we want you to bring your families and enjoy the day or the morning and everything. It'll be a lot of fun, you know, and everything. It always is. Okay, this one isn't so great, but thank goodness it's behind us. Today is the anniversary 4 years that ago when the COVID pandemic really hit and really grabbed a hold of us. You know, at that point in time, my girls' basketball team was scheduled to play in the state tournament in 2 or 3 hours. You know, we were going to play Martinsburg. To be perfectly honest, we had beaten Martinsburg by 25 in the regular season, a good chance we were going to go on to the Final Four, and then we were going to play Woodrow, which was a great matchup for us and everything. It was an exciting time for our kids. But really and truly, there was tournaments canceling all across the land. Nobody knew what to do. There wasn't a playbook and everything. I first and foremost am going to be your governor, but it was a tough decision and everything, and it was a big loss for our area in this in this Great Kanawha Valley, and so you know, we're glad that's behind us. Hope to goodness that we never again experience anything like that, but it was tough stuff for a long time, and we lost a lot of people as well. That's all I've got right now. Well, you know, we do have the video. You need to see this video real quick.
I mean, if you look at some of these exit polls, I mean, I live in Virginia. Immigration was the #1 issue. Yeah. I mean, again, these could change in Virginia.
Well, Virginia does have a border with West Virginia. Very contested area.
Build a wall. Like, what? I mean, if you look at some of these exit polls, I mean, I live in Virginia.
Let me tell you, you know, here's what I would say. Do you remember when I flipped Baby Dog's hind end around to one of the liberal elite, per se, that basically was, you know, casting stones at West Virginia? You know, for Jen Psaki and Rachel Maddow, here's what I would say to both of our liberal supposedly elites. I would just say this. First and foremost, the insinuation that Virginia and West Virginia are going to build a wall, or Virginia's going to build a wall just to keep West Virginians away. First of all, I want to say we love all the folks that are in Virginia in every way, and I'm sure they love us too. You know, from the standpoint of our southern border, you know, and versus, you know, kind of making light of what's going on, you know, in our southern border, and maybe saying something that's insinuating, you know, that Virginia's going to build a wall, you know, to keep West Virginians away, or whatever their criticism, or basically their eliteness looking down on us is just not acceptable to me in any way. You know, first of all, as far as the southern border goes, anybody with at least a small brain can know that absolutely what has happened there, with all the folks that are coming across and all the bad stuff that's coming across and everything, it affects us all. It affects Virginia. It affects West Virginia. It affects every state in this country. Absolutely, what has happened there is absolutely disgraceful in every way, and we all know it. We all know it. And basically, the idea that maybe they just didn't like the vote that happened, you know, night before last and everything, or last night rather, that just happened, in Virginia, and they don't like it because of Trump's popularity. Well, I'll tell you just one thing for dadgum certain. Sister Jen and Sister Rachel, this is coming, and it's coming like a freight train. And you better get used to it, because President Trump is going to be our president, thank God. And thank God we're going to get rid of a whole lot of your way of thinking. But get used to it, baby, because he's coming, and he's going to be our president, and we're proud of it. And absolutely, we're proud of the fact that we absolutely love the folks in Virginia, and hopefully they love us as well. That's all I've got right now.
All right, thank you, Governor. We'll now go to questions from members of the media. The first today from Mark Curtis with Nexstar Media.
Good afternoon or good morning from the Rotunda. Governor, a lot of action up here regarding Social Security and getting rid of the income tax on Social Security benefits. Of course, that was one of your top priorities in the State of the State address. The House has passed a bill that phases out the Social Security tax over 3 years. The Senate has not. They've come up with a very complicated formula that has all kinds of other mechanisms that may or may not cause the Social Security tax to go away on senior citizens. What are your thoughts on this, especially at the 11th hour, and the fact that you made it such a top priority that they're waiting to the last minute to do anything on this, and in fact, nothing may happen?
Well, Mark, here's my thinking. First of all, I know the Senate is still deliberating, changing this and changing that and everything, and the House pretty much is adopted what my plan was and everything. The House has stood rock solid for our pay raises. The House has stood rock solid on the tax cuts. The Senate's still thinking about it. And really, there's no point in casting any stones or anything like that. I hope to goodness that they'll come along, and we'll be able to give our pay raises to our folks, and we'll be able to give our tax breaks or tax cuts to our folks as well. But I really need to just say just this, because I don't know how any other way to say it. But who out there, who in the world doesn't really believe that absolutely we should give our pay raises to our teachers, our service personnel, the folks that, that work really hard for this great state all along? We can do it. We can afford it absolutely without any movement. We can absolutely do it. Who out there really doesn't believe that we ought to be helping our hungry, we ought to be helping our seniors, we ought to be helping our vets, and we ought to be helping kids? From the standpoint of our tax break and everything, it's more directed at two areas. One area is our seniors, and the other areas was the young families, as far as healthcare, daycare rather. I don't mean healthcare, I meant, child care and daycare. Absolutely, who in the world out there doesn't believe that we ought not be helping our seniors, our kids, our vets? Absolutely, who in the world doesn't believe that we ought to be stepping up and trying to give pay raises, because we're either last or right at the bottom of how we can attract teachers, and we ought to be supporting all of our government workers and our service personnel folks as well. I hope the Senate, they can some way, somehow get through all this muckety muck and making things just so complicated and so difficult and everything, and just absolutely get on board with what I presented and with what the House is doing, and we can move on and really help a bunch of folks in West Virginia, and that's what it ought to all be about.
All right, thanks, Mark. Next to Charles Young with WV News.
Hi, this is Charles Young with W News. Governor, could you weigh in on the possibility of a May special session? Lawmakers in both the House and the Senate are talking about this like it's an inevitability. It seems like, the plan is to pass this sort of placeholder budget while we continue these negotiations with the federal government and then come back in May and pass an actual budget. Can you weigh in on that, sir?
Well, I can, Charles. Here's what I'd say. From the standpoint of the education of clawback and so on like that, everybody was trying to scare everybody to death, and everybody was afraid of the dark and all that kind of stuff. And as far as the triggering and everything, well, we've been through that 15,000 different times, and the net of the whole thing is, I think everybody wants to kind of lay the stuff aside, come back in May, see where we really stand. I mean, I know where we're going to stand and everything, but if we want to come back in May with one-time dollars, with surplus dollars and work, again back in May, I guess that'll be fine, but I do think that, we want to encourage the Senate in regard to our pay raises and our tax cuts that we have in, helping the hungry and those things that are already kind of built into my budget and everything. But as far as our one-time spending and so on like that, if we want to come back in May and try to hash that out, I guess that'll be fine.
All right, thanks, Charles. Next, we'll go to Evan Bevins with Ogden Newspapers. All right, Evan, I think you're muted.
My apologies. All right. Sorry about that. Thank you. You put out a press release, I believe, this weekend about the clawback situation, and said that I believe the administration hadn't been made aware of this until the current superintendent brought it up. But I know the state had received a waiver before about this. So what was the situation there? Was it there was an awareness that it needed another waiver, or could you kind of explain that situation? Thank you.
Well, Evan, let me say this. Superintendent Blatt has done, really great work there, and there's surely been more of a focus that has been brought to our attention from her standpoint. My chief of staff has worked this. I mean, this isn't like, that nobody's been working it and everything. My chief of staff has been on this for, months and months and months, long time and everything. And we have absolutely had discussion after discussion after discussion. We are absolute believers, that absolutely that the education fed folks are not going to claw back on us at all in regard to this. But let's just see how it all plays out and everything. And if we want to wait and come back in May, I guess we wait and come back in May.
All right, thanks, Evan. Next to Kenny Bass with WCHS and Fox 11.
Hi, thanks for taking my question, Governor. Of course, we all know about the ongoing situation that involved Secretary of Transportation Jimmy Riston. I know there have been some developments along that line, both with an internal investigation with the Charleston Police Department and also some investigating that the governor's office itself has been doing. Can you give us a quick update on where that is with Secretary Riston and his traffic stop and what direction this thing is heading? Thank you, sir.
I think I can, Kenny. I think I can give you a little more. I told you the other day that, from the standpoint of a level of disappointment or whatever it may be, and I want to make absolutely certain that that wasn't directed at Secretary Riston. That was really directed at just a process that we knew about at the time. I really couldn't tell you about it at the time, but the whole situation is, and why in the world? I mean, I just don't get all this stuff, but we have every reason to believe now that Jimmy Riston was just set up. That's all there is to it. And from that standpoint, we're waiting we're waiting on the Charleston Police Department and the Kanawha County Prosecutor to bring us a lot more information in regard to that and everything. But the net of the whole thing is there are just some folks out there that are doing things, that or have different vendettas and everything, that are doing stuff to people that just isn't fair in a lot of ways. And so I knew a lot the other day. I know a lot more now, but as you know, I do think it's fair that we wait and see what the investigation really comes out to be in regard with the Charleston Police Department and the Kanawha County Prosecutor. But I haven't changed my feelings. I am really disappointed. That's all there is to it with the whole situation. It just it saddens me to see. I said the other day that Jimmy Riston has done a great job, in his capacity and everything. Jimmy Riston doesn't walk on water, and Jimmy Riston makes mistakes, and only one was able to walk on water that I know of, in my world and everything. But with all that being said, there are certain things that have happened here that nobody deserves, and that's why the disappointment is huge on my side. So let's just see how all of it pans out and everything. And at the end of the day, if it doesn't, if the powers to be, it pans out that I need to take action on certain individuals, I'll do it.
All right, thanks, Kenny. Governor, back to you.
Okay. Well, while I'm thinking, I just really, maybe I shouldn't feel this sensitive, but I love West Virginia, and I love our great people. And this state, we're killing it now. And so many good things are going on, but the one thing that I will always do, I will always defend your honor. I will always defend West Virginia's honor. This idea, that just happened, on I don't know the newscast and everything, but from Jen Psaki and Rachel Maddow, I don't like it. I don't like this stuff, and we're really just casting stones at West Virginia. We're really basically just, the truth known, we're really mad with the popularity of President Trump in Virginia, and we're living in this elite area of Virginia, and we're mad about President Trump's popularity. And the other thing is, we can cast stones, tell bad jokes, whatever it may be, about West Virginia. I don't like it. I don't like it, and I'm absolutely, to the best that I can possibly do, I'm not going to stand for it. So all that being said and everything, I wish they'd take back their not very pleasant comments about West Virginia. We'll move on. We absolutely love the people of Virginia, and absolutely will always be that way in West Virginia. We love all the people across this entire country. Absolutely, I believe with all in me that Jen and Rachel better get used to the fact that President Trump's here to stay. He's going to be our president. I am tickled to death about that. They may not be, but there's no reason in the world to cast stones at West Virginia. There's no reason to do that and everything. We all know what's going on with our southern border, and it's an absolute mess. That's all there is to it. And, and it affects every single state. It affects Virginia. It absolutely affects West Virginia, and so I do believe we need to build a wall. Without any question, we need to build a wall, and we need absolutely to do a heck of a lot better job than we're doing at our southern border today. And so all that being said, though, I don't understand how you could look at the successes of this incredible state, how you could look at our being faith-based, low crime, craftsman, good, hardworking people in West Virginia, how you could look and just cast stone after stone, I don't like it. And I'm going to stand up for you, West Virginia, no matter what anybody says. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there standing up for you. That's all I got. Thank you so much.